Good afternoon, Chairman Maroney and members of the committee. My name is Aden Hizkias, and I'm here on behalf of Chamber of Progress. Chamber of Progress, a tech industry coalition promoting technology's progressive future, urges you to amend SB 2, which would hinder the adoption of innovative AI technologies without addressing the panoply of discriminatory harms. Our organization works to ensure that all Americans benefit from technological leaps. Our corporate partners include companies like Google, Meta, Snap, and Amazon. But our partners do not have a vote on or a veto over our positions. AI has tremendous potential for improving education, enabling creative expression, and creating new business opportunities. So it is critically important that public policy promotes the broad and equitable distribution of these innovations. Accordingly, policymakers should avoid policies that would counterproductively slow adoption of AI technologies. SB 2 defines artificial intelligence as technology that uses data to train an algorithm or predictive model for the purpose of enabling a computer system or service to autonomously perform any task, including visual perception, language processing, or speech recognition. A long definition, I know, which would encompass many everyday consumer software products while ignoring offline real-world sources of potential discriminatory conduct. The sponsors of SB 2 are justly concerned about civil rights abuses, particularly discrimination in housing, employment, or lending. Historically, marginalized communities have faced repeated discrimination in these areas and many more, and as such, we applaud the sponsors for their attention to these critical matters of social justice. However, pinpointing the source and catalyst of discriminatory outcomes of an AI system is not always possible, nor is it consistently determining who or what is responsible for the act of discrimination. The roots of bias may be in the data used to train a model, which could be laden with human-created biases, or the human who rubber stamps the outcome of an automated decision tool, or from any number of other sources. Regardless of origins, there must be avenues to address circumstances of discrimination that are consistent whether the abuse is online or offline. Unfairly biased outcomes are problematic for developers, deployers, and end users alike. Tech companies are increasingly investing in internal teams for proactive bias detection and mitigation in their products. Google, for example, has implemented their responsible AI practices. The initiative encompasses detailed guidelines for evaluating training metrics and machine learning models, including a thorough examination of the training data itself. Google's practices also emphasize a human-centric approach to AI development. Prioritizing safe and inclusive user experiences remain a top commitment for the tech industry. In light of the substantial private sector work to advance responsible AI development, we appreciate the authors including a safe harbor provision. SB 2 is designed to address potential discrimination from artificial intelligence systems, including automated decision-making in employment, housing, and other areas. To reiterate, we agree that discrimination is wrong, but focusing exclusively on AI systems ignores offline discrimination. A better approach is to strengthen existing civil rights laws protection in the Connecticut Code to ensure that the most vulnerable members of society are protected online and offline. For these reasons, we encourage you to amend SB 2.
Are there any questions? So I guess I have a few questions. One, are you going to send specific language to request to amend it, or is it just a broad amended?
So the amendment is reconsidering and clarifying certain definitions in Section 1, including reasonable care, that standard, and the consequential decisions. Another concern for a potential amendment has been spoken to quite a bit today, which is the Section 7 disclosure requirements. We are happy to discuss it more in detail and write it up for you guys and follow up. Both those are sort of the main areas of concern.
Okay. Yeah, if you could send specific language requests, that would be appreciated.
Absolutely.
Representative Acker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for your testimony. I guess I want to ask, similar to the last question I asked the last speaker, is there legislation that in the other states, obviously you run the gamut of states that you work in or that you represent. Is there legislation in those areas that you would have us to look at in different states?
Yeah, so I'm here to see you guys from Washington, D.C. I would have to refer to research and my colleagues, but I'm happy to include that in the summary to bring up to you guys.
And maybe encourage people in D.C. to get on board here and do some work. So, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for your testimony.
Great, thank you. And the one thing I'll say, being in D.C., all of the tech companies went down to DC saying, please regulate us. Now we're putting forward meaningful regulations. They're saying, don't regulate us. So I would appreciate, if they're happy to work together with them. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for your time.